idea behind being a doctor for me as a student growing up was the whole idea of I get to make a difference, I get to help. I don't know if that's some sort of childhood wannabe hero kind of thought inside of us, but it was a very real sense within me that what I want to do one day, I want to be able to do until the day I die and feel like what I've done has made a real difference. The whole idea of we can be successful or we can go one step further and be significant. Success for me is all about me and what I can gain. Significance is what I can do for those around me. And for me, to make the jump from success to significance was really important, and I could do that in medicine as a doctor.
But not only are you a doctor or helping out in the sphere of health, you've managed to extend that to TV and presenting, and especially in business currently. How do you manage to integrate all of that?
So there's this great line from a song, I think by AWOL Nation, blame it on my ADD.
Oh yes, oh yes.
It could be partly that, but I think it also has to do with, I suppose, the concept around don't manage your time, manage your energy. I mean, your last question around how do you do all that? It's not a case of great time management. I think that's often a huge misnomer in life today, is if I can manage my time appropriately, I'll get to do everything. But at the end of the day, we fit in so much that when we actually engage with our kids, for example, family, there's just nothing left. You've made time for them, but there's no energy there, there's no enthusiasm, and then that time spent with them is really useless. So for me, the focus is really on how do I manage my energy appropriately. And it's a bit like if you look at your heart or your heartbeat, you get that little ECG that goes do-do, do-do. Every little beat is a stressful moment, but then your heart immediately relaxes. Stress, relax, stress.
Yes.
And that's essentially what energy management is. So when I'm at work, when I'm doing something that I'm really involved in, there's a lot of stress and energy and focus, but then I build time to recover. And then you jump back in again. And it's this whole idea of stress recovery that allows you to do that indefinitely for the rest of your life and have this high level of performance without sort of burning out, as opposed to stress, burnout, crash, and
then having to take the time to recover for a longer period.
Yeah. So that's a really long answer to a very short question. How do you do it? And for me, my particular secret, not really a secret, but if you call it that, is how I manage my energy.
Why would you think that it is important for students to love their bodies by eating healthily and just living out a healthy lifestyle?
I think the quickest and the easiest answer there is what you and I do today impacts us in many years to come. All of us want to live long, but none of us want to get old. And the reason I say that is it's one thing to live long, but it's quite another to live well. I don't want to get to 70 and just run out of energy and steam and have someone have to look after me and nurse me into my 90s. That's not a quality of life. I often say to my kids, you want your, God has given us a certain amount of heartbeats, and you want your body to outlive those heartbeats. In other words, I get to my allotted time and my heart eventually goes, hey Michael, this is my last few beats, thanks for the ride, it's been great. And that's it, and I'm gone. As opposed to my heart having all these heartbeats left to live, but my body's given up because it just has been so badly treated, that I nurse myself into old age. You don't want to do that. So the whole concept of health is being proactive about our health. Your and my default setting for health is not healthy, it's just simply not sick.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? So if I'm not, so many people think that if I'm not sick, then I'm healthy, but that's not true. If you're not sick, you're simply not sick. Health, proactive approach, so we've got to actively do things to make ourselves healthy so we can live not only long, but well into the future, have a high quality of life. So to your students and to the students out there, just because you're healthy today, it just means you're not sick. It doesn't mean you're necessarily healthy.
How would you advise students that are going through exam periods, trying to prepare and just stay on top of their game to snack healthily?
I think there are two key things to remember. One is that your brain's primary source of fuel, in other words, to keep it firing and keep it operating optimally, is glucose or carbohydrates, if you like. So you don't want to go into any kind of crazy fad diets or restriction diets or water and lemon juice only or stupid things like that, because your brain is going to suffer.
Yes.
So don't have diets that limit carbohydrate. Your brain needs that kind of sugar. But then there's also something called an amino acid called tyrosine, which is great for enhancing your brain's effectivity, its ability to retain and kind of retrieve memory is enhanced by this thing called tyrosine, and you get that in most proteins, particularly in egg actually. So if you want to eat healthy during exam times, I would say no fad diets, get enough carbohydrates in, and start your day with protein, particularly eggs, to kind of get that boost of tyrosine. Can't go wrong.
Okay.
And then if you can, throw in some omega-3s maybe, and vitamin D, vitamin B complex is not bad. One of those little things.
How has God influenced your life thus far?
Well, God to me is everything. I think we spoke a bit about purpose right in the beginning. God, as part of who I am, as central to my life, as my savior, it just gives meaning to what I do and purpose to what I do. And there's no other way to kind of describe that. And I think if you don't have a relationship with God, it's almost hard to understand that sense of peace, the sense of joy, if you like, the sense of a plan that God has got for my life that I can just stick to and run with. The Bible talks about running with horses, that sense of I'm on a mission, and I'm on a mission for something far bigger than me or what I can do. I'm joining God in what He's doing, and there's something about there's something very motivating about that, to use a real kind of cliched word. So what role does God play? Central, core to everything I am and everything I do.
Okay. 5 essential must-dos in terms of staying healthy and therefore loving their bodies throughout this crazy exam season.
Time. When it comes to hitting these exams and doing them well, I think there are a couple of things to think about. I don't know if I can come up with 5. If you give me 5 pointers, I'll tell you what I have got. I think one of the key aspects is stress. Now, stress wreaks havoc with your brain, particularly when it comes to retrieving information. So you do not want to be stressful when you're both studying and writing an exam.
Yes.
So you've got to manage that stress or anxiety level. The flip side of the coin is if you're too relaxed, too kind of like, hey, laissez-faire, and just everything goes, then obviously you're smoking something, or you don't quite have that drive to perform.
Yes.
So there needs to be a bit of balance. Stress is not bad for you, but stress that's kind of all-consuming is.
Yes.
So the right amount of stress stimulates great performance. Too much stress doesn't. So the whole idea is how do I manage stress? How do I manage that anxiety and be the master of it? So there are a couple of things you can do. One, we talked a bit about a proper diet, eating properly. We're talking about don't do fad diets and have enough carbohydrates and start with protein. That tyrosine is a wonderful little amino acid. In fact, if you can get a supplement, try that as well. So very important to eat healthily, and not just eat healthily the day before your exam. The whole period of studies, your body needs to adapt. So that's the first thing. Second thing, key exercise.
Okay.
Vitally important. People who exercise remember more, they can think quicker, they can concentrate for longer. And again, it's this whole idea of just exercising around 30 to 40 minutes most days of the week. It's all you need.
So the walk up jammy stairs is not sufficient.
No, unless you take 45 minutes to go up the walk, which means up and down a couple of times, But it is really important.
Okay.
And again, it just it not only does it enhance your brain activity, but it also releases those happy hormones, those endorphins, which are, again, stress relievers. So the bit of stress that you have, get outside, exercise, break that stress, come back in, keep studying. So really important. Exercise is brilliant. Next thing you want to concentrate on, sleep. Now, I know 7 to 8 hours, you're thinking there's no, why do I need so much? I can get by in 4. Most people think they can get by in 4 hours, and maybe they can for a couple of days, but your body is not recovering. In fact, sleep does some amazing things for your body. It clears out toxins in your brain, it recovers, it heals itself. 7 to 8 hours is what we recommend. And for a whole bunch of reasons, also really good for memory retention. And again, not just the night before your exam. Everyone kind of crams and they think, okay, before my exam, I've got to have a decent night's sleep. No, you need to have that kind of sleep consistently, good consistent sleep, because you get into sleep debt, and you can't recover that sleep debt with one good night's rest. So sleep, very, very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing so openly and honestly from your position and all that you've learned, not only as a doctor, but just being a child of God.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for asking. Thanks for being interested in that.
Thank you.
Cool.